there. There. Straight and tall. Glasses off. Stretch yourself up tall enough, excuse me, that you separate your parts from each other. Don't let them settle even subtly. See if you can come up and remove constrictions to breath, to the free movement of breath, pelvically, abdominally, in the chest, throat, head, spine. Release the arms and legs. Join your palms. Following that exhalation, all the way to the end. Follow the exhalation in. In this quiet way, pay homage to your practice and to that root teacher, Patanjali. Bow your head. Release your hands. Raise your head. Open your eyes. Get a bolster and put that bolster on the floor, sitting in Virasana with your toes together and the knees just wide enough apart that the bolster will fit. Now, don't bring it in close. In fact, keep it long, but that's the width of the knees, where we will take Adho Mukha Virasana, leaving those thighs settled and relaxed on the heels. If they don't do this easily, if the knees are kind of an issue, another option is being like this, just part way in the pose and relaxing the neck and head. So if this is possible, please do. Stretch long. Some of you will have the forehead down and you can still breathe. Some of you will feel more comfortable on the chin. Now come up to the hands and knees, separate the feet. We're going to do Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, you may take a belt around your arms. You can also work on that chair seat for dog pose, right? As in half Uttanasana, dog pose. Like so. Keep the hands wide on the chair seat, shoulder width on the floor. Stretch your legs. Get this kind of horizontal spine position is actually the easiest position for the heart and circulation. Okay, and come forward to Uttanasana, legs straight. And come up. Now, we're going to use the bolster differently. And Gay, this is probably not for you, this pose. So the alternate for you is Supta Padangusthasana with the strap. Leg straight, right leg up. Take the support. You need a brick if necessary, a bolster to support that leg to the side. The leg on the floor should move laterally to make more space. This is your pose. And Gay, feel free to work with the legs as you wish, but keep that spine on the floor and neck and the head supported. The rest of us. Here's a bolster. Here is me putting my top thighs, pelvis, abdomen, chest on the bolster. My neck and head are forward. My legs stretch straight back, toes turned under. Elbows toward my sides with the forearms being vertical, not at an angle. Vertical forearms. Head, neck level. This is go. Do this on your bolster. Now, you can spend plenty of time here on your bolster and stretch your legs, lengthen the buttocks, move those shoulders, shoulder blades away from the ears, keep them spreading. Now, notice some of you will feel like you're pressing your abdomen down on the bolster more than the chest. Can you lengthen your sternum along the bolster instead of raising it up? Can you keep the whole spine and organic body level and spreading? Turn your toes under and stretch those calves, thighs, hamstrings. So you're not trying to come off the bolster. You're just trying to stretch along it. Good, relax. Lower the knees, roll or push out. Watch how it goes. So we picking up, just watch, picking up where we left off. Here's the arms, here's the legs. Now, as I said, you've got top thighs and pelvis on this blanket. That is important because you're gonna keep the legs stretching and straighten your arms. This is, if you see it, a very small back bend as back bends go, not a big one. You can make it a little more tolerable, moving the hands slightly forward. but keep your thighs, pelvis on that blanket. Okay. And stretch your legs. Outer hips firm. Reach back, turn your toes under, not toenails on the floor, toe prints on the floor. Yeah, the other way, Leanne. Yes. So your heels are as high as the thighs. Legs horizontal. Go back down, have a rest there. Now, some of you in straightening the arms, you're letting your shoulders hunch a bit. When you come up, I want you to push your chest up high, push your arms down low. Move those shoulders down. Widen the collarbones. Remember my weekly instructions lately to lengthen your bones, lengthen your collarbones out to the shoulders, open the collarbones, and back down you go. And then release the knees, come out of the pose. Now, Gay, you may also do other parts of Supta Padangusthasana. Can you see the camera? Okay, so you've got the lateral. You can bend the floor knee, if you like, to take a much deeper Supta 1, right? The forward bend. At which point, see a bolster here? You can stretch the legs straight, but it's off the floor on a bolster, which gives you more room to extend. Okay. You can also do with knees bent, you can also do the third part. Just keep that spine on the floor, right? Don't have to raise the trunk. Okay, all those parts can be done with repetition. The rest of us, this is your good friend, the one who taught me these things. He said, your bolster is your very good friend. Okay, so figure out your position here where you're supposed to be, pelvis, thighs. Now you know why you have to have those thighs on the bolster. Okay, place the hands, drop the knees. You go back, don't change hands or feet. Adho Mukha Virasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Watch, my forehead goes to the bolster. The heels go way up. So I stretch my arms and spine. There's no compression of the neck on this bolster. Okay. Next, you come forward to plank pose and act like your spine is lengthening on that bolster. Stretch the arms, don't sink. Reach the arms toward the floor. And then, as gracefully as you can, let yourself down onto the bolster. It could be a big plop, but that's why the bolster's your friend. It allows that. Okay, so you find your original pose. Then, without moving hands or feet, you push back to Adho. Your hands are that forward, yes. the Chaturanga pose. Adho Mukha Virasana, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Don't change those feet. That's the idea. Don't plunk your head onto the bolster. Do an earnest dog pose and raise those heels, leaving your head resting so you stretch that spine. Then come forward to plank pose. Be there for a bit. Don't drop those hips. Keep level in the trunk, level in the navel. And stretch your legs, bend your elbows. Light as a feather, you come down to that bolster. Elbows in. Now you see some of you landed belly first and hip second, or chest first and hip second. You should land level. Okay, now push up Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, and then push back Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift those thighs, stretch back. Now come forward, plank pose. Push straight arms, really stretch those shoulders long. Level the navel and exhale, lower yourself down as carefully develop your strength. This comes gradually. The bolster is your friend. Now, stretch those legs and push up Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Straighten your elbows. Now push hard with the arms. Raise your collarbones. Push your collarbones up to the ceiling. And then pull back with the legs, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then come out and rest. Okay. Was that tolerable? Most of us do not work on shoulder strength. And we are all in this class today here, ladies, none of us is entirely young. And some of us are distinctly older, and women, as a rule, don't work a lot on upper body strength as a group, as a culture, as a sex. I don't know, but we don't get good at shoulder strength. So you can't just plunge into strong shoulder work. That's the way to get hurt. Use your friend and develop your strength. Adho Mukha Svanasana, one more time. Go way deep gay into the forward bend. Stretch your arms, stretch your shoulders. Good. Now, please come out from dog pose. I wish to do something like headstand preparation, but different. You should measure your leg length from the wall. Here's a wall. Here's my heel at the wall. And this is right here where I end. So I make a mark there. I'm leaving this marker, marks the level of that place. Okay. So then, knowing that, that's where my elbows are going to go. That line, so which is right here, is where my elbows will go. And the fingers will interlock or hold a brick. Now, dog pose, walking in with the heels up. The purpose of this is to get upside down. Then, leave your knees bent, those with strength. Leave your knees bent, see? My tippy toes are on the wall, buttocks up, knees bent. So I'm tilted toward the wall. This makes it easier on the shoulders. So you can get more upside down. Not necessarily everybody today. Some of you have your work cut out for you, getting comfortable just in that first part where the hips come up, feet still on the floor. Keep the shoulders over the elbows. Don't let the head come forward toward the wrists. Upper arms vertical at all times. This is shoulder strength here. Now, don't raise the feet any higher, Vidya. That's it. Good. If the feet go up the wall, Leanne, they don't go higher than your hips. Chaya, Chaya Devi. Feet down, hips up, buttocks up, spine long, tall. Excellent choice, Gay. Also, Supta Baddha Konasana. Eventually, we all are going towards Supta Virasana, and you will join us then, which is soon. Now, if anybody does out and out headstand, you have 2 minutes. At the wall, in the room, on a sling, as you wish. If you do not do headstand, continue with this or rest. Now, Vidya, I'm only seeing you from the side, but it seems to me that your elbows are a little wide. So that when I see you from the side, what I would like to see is your elbows the width of your shoulders. And I don't think they were there. So if I'm, okay, they were wide, yes? Yeah, okay. This gives you extra ability to press the floor, but it does mean you have to use some inner arm strength to keep that inner part of the elbow down. It technically it's adduction, adduction. Lift your sternum. Okay. It's almost 2 minutes. Karen, is that safe on the hip there with those knees apart? No. Come talk to me. Unmute yourself.
No, I should have put the strap on, but once I got up there, I was already up.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
there is sis, I understand, and I'm glad you noticed that. But the thing to do genuinely is come out, get the strap, because
Okay.
right, because that you can tell it's a wrong action.
Right. Both hips hurt.
Right, and you don't want to just sit there and live with that.
Okay. Stop.
There's a sutra about that. There's a sutra about that. And the sutra is, and it's for everybody, and you may come out of Shirshasana, please, and rest your head. The sutra is Heyam Dukkam Anagatam. Heyam Dukkam Anagatam. Dukkha is suffering, pain, frustration, unhappiness. Heyam is that which is to come. Anagatam is to be avoided. So the pain and suffering and frustration which is ahead of you can be avoided. Right? What is already happened can't be changed. What is currently happening is where you can act. It's the only place. And in the future, you can't act, but you can prepare. So the present moment is the place where you set yourself so that you don't have future suffering. So you put that strap on. Okay, we need to get to Virasana, a version of Virasana, which will lead to Supta Virasana. Those who don't go down to the floor or close to the floor can work with a chair. And you bring your sternum. Here's a brick. You bring your sternum onto the chair and your head back to the brick. And your arms go through the chair. So the sternum is holding up pretty much the weight of your torso. And it's up to you to stretch those front thighs. You may or may not need a brick under the head. It is perfectly fine with me if your head goes back and the chin lifts and the throat opens, so long as it is comfortable. Okay, so get your sternum on that chair seat, so you may come further away from it, just to see I'm right by those shoulder blades on the chair seat, not the kidneys. Kidneys don't work well, don't like the chair seat. Lengthen the shin bones, spreading your toes. Go as far away from the knee with your big toe as you can. Yes, lift those hips. Lift the hips so the shoulders come down onto the chair. Monica, hold your hands to the top of the chair seat, bending the elbows, and that may help you get the chest open. The brick should be lower and the shoulder blades flat in theory on the chair seat. Karen Carpenter, are your hips feeling okay? This is a good thing for the hips. Good. Monica, are you okay?
My hands are not going through this, through the...
If I could see you from the side, like you see me, I might be able to suggest something. That's a good start. Now, you need that brick out from under the shoulders. Bring the part of you that is just underneath that shoulder blade, just beneath that shoulder blade. Right there, just beneath the shoulder blade. This brick does not go under the shoulder blades. Okay, it only goes under the head. See that space there? This space is, yeah, hips up, hips up. I want to know why there's a blanket on the chair.
Okay, so one blanket less.
Good. Now, put your hands, yes, lift your hips, hips up, hips way up, brick out of the way. Don't push with your head, push with your shoulders down onto that chair. Cross your elbows, your arms will almost go through there. Hips up, hips up. Stretch the arms, maybe outside the yoke, getting better. Remove the brick, take the brick away. The chair is too far back. Bring it forward under those shoulder blades. Yes, way up on top of it now. Way up. There you go. Hips up, shoulders down. Knees away. Yes, so yes, that's better. Much better. Much better. Good. Okay, Monica, did you succeed at least? You got it. Was that
better, much
yes,
better.
Yes. Okay. So you see, it has to start and stay below the shoulder blades, that chair, and the hips really need to come up. Okay. Some of you are enjoying yourselves. Please come out anyhow. This is suppose that if you get it, this is my history with this pose is I get in it and the first 3 minutes are just one annoying pain after another, like the sacrum or my knees or the front hip or, or the low back. It just takes forever. But once I'm in, it's lovely. Once the body settles into the actions, it's lovely. I won't say I could take a nap there, but it's nice. All right. Now, get a chair. Put a sticky mat on that chair seat. Get a blanket or a second sticky mat if you've got it, but a blanket will do. And hang that blanket over the rung of the chair seat. You want a good pad, not, so fold that blanket a couple of times. A nice pad. And I want to see your chair sideways, like I'm showing you mine. That's the way I'd like to see your chair. Now, Gay, you want head support. And anybody else with a funny neck, okay? So you put one or two bolsters down. So you have some nice head support. This is different than you think. A lot of you have done poses like with me like this, maybe with others too. And always keep an extra blanket around so you can, build up or reduce. Okay, watch. In the course of doing this, your knees may try to go wide. So Karen and anybody else who has an issue with the knees drifting wide, get a strap. You go through the chair and you put the strap around your thighs. So it keeps, look, it's not tying my knees together. You want to be an advanced yogi all at once, tie your knees together. I just want it so your knees don't fly much wider than the hips. So there's really plenty of space there. Leave yourself plenty. It just prevents Karen going too far, going into the trouble department. Yeah. Now, take your feet and run them through that rung. So now you're in Virasana again. If this is too much folding for your knees, the knees won't bend there, then you just put the blanket on the floor and put your feet through on the floor. Okay? So they're either on that rung or the floor. Then you've got to get your buttock bones off the chair. Your tailbone on, buttock bones off. It means going far off the chair. Watch. Now I'm just going to drag an arc. Look, my knees come back up. I'm not overdoing the stretch of the front thigh. Whatever those knees do, they do. I come over on the same shoulder blade place that you landed on the chair, Monica and anybody else. So you can take your arms overhead. You can get much more through the chair, Monica, much more through the chair. Yes, that must happen. Much more through that's closer. Yes. Yes. Let those toes go backward through the chair. If they won't go over the rung, tuck your toes backward like Virasana. Push them through the chair backward. Get on the top of the foot. If you can. If it won't happen, go as far as you can.
Yeah, it's not going through the run.
That's great. That's just perfect. Now, some of you, Gay, are you comfy there? Don't change. Okay. In theory, you should be further through the chair, meaning your knees toward the wall behind you. Nope, the other way. And your shoulder blades more on the chair. But I'm not going to argue because I know those hips are stiff. But the farther you can start going towards your knees, get your buttocks more through the chair. Leave your feet, leave those feet, but move those hips way more, way more, way more, way more. Keep going. Buttock bones off the chair. You can drag them much farther to get into the pose, but that's where you start. Excellent. There. Now, I'm sure that's a bigger front thigh stretch, but is the rest of your spine and your chest doing fine? Good. Go for that. You want to be close to the shoulder blades on that edge of the chair. And I hope you feel how different this is from lying on the floor in Supta Virasana. This elevated version of the pose. It's airier. Can you unthread your feet? First, hold the sides of the chair with your hands. Then, if possible, unthread your feet, put them on the floor. And then make sure your buttock bones are on the chair seat and sit up. Okay, Chaya approves. Anybody else? You okay? Good. Karen, are you stuck or are you happy? She's happy, okay. She's not stuck. Now, well, you could stay seated in that chair, Monica. Sorry for you coming out soon. You can. I'm turning the chair just toward you. No good reason. I'm gonna back it up. And I'm gonna pull this out so you just see more clearly. So, Karen Carpenter, you can keep that strap on. And you could put a brick between your shins. Now, if you had a foam brick, that'd be better in case it drops. Okay. So one trick, it's very sneaky, to not drop the brick is you put this strap below it and above it. So you strap the brick in. See, I can separate and it's held on the belt. Very sneaky. So you can completely relax the legs now and they are held in position. You got space between them and support around them. Turn to your right. Now, the idea of this strap here is it's keeping the leg you're turning toward from getting drawn into the twist and drawn back with you. It's a reminder to keep this whole right side from the hip to the knee in stable position. So you're telling this side to come forward and gently steer toward the brick, because what it wants to do is just drag. So reach that to outer hip, outer thigh forward. Come out, keep the action of the legs synchronized. So now both thighs come forward. And now this left thigh is taking over the stability job as you turn left. If it's not working, use your hand. Widen the elbows. Pratima, sit a little further back in the chair. Yeah, you plant yourself in the center. That gives you more space, you feel, in that right armpit, right shoulder. Now go farther in the twist if you want, taking that left hand further back on the chair seat so that that back shoulder rolls open more, as much as you can. Turn with freedom, without pain, only where there is no pain. Turn it and look over the left shoulder. And turn again and look over the right shoulder. And then come out. Okay, go back to the first side. Now, you can go farther in the twist, going to the first side by reaching that hand around. Do you see me waving this hand around and catching the bar of the chair seat? If it's too far away from you, sit a half inch further through the chair. Okay. Make it so you get to work for it a little bit. There's some of you for whom this brings pain around the shoulder blade. Gay, I wouldn't do it just because of cardiac reasons. Keep the elbows broad, Gay, elbows wide, armpits wide, chest tall. So you get lots of lateral expansion, no lateral squeeze. Come out, change sides. Last side. Go into this as you're able. Everybody's got a side that twists better, a side that twists not so well, a little stiffer. So move according to your capacity. Anybody with cardiac problems, don't squeeze the armpits. It's also true, oddly, for anxiety and general dukkha, unhappiness. Don't squeeze the armpits. Go for spaciousness. Come out. And remove that strap and brick. And come out. Now you may continue using the chair as a form of support, but we're going to take well, let's see if everybody can do, is it true, Adho Mukha Virasana, back where we were at the beginning, this pose. You remember? Okay, watch variation. Adho Mukha Virasana. And you come up and you go to the right. Don't move the bolster, leave it there. Go to the right of it. So the left side of the chest or something is being supported on that bolster. Stretch both arms. And then we'll come up and go the other way. So first go to the center, settle there, then come up and go to the right, leaving your hips where they started, getting the left hand completely to the right of the bolster, and your head and sternum are over your right knee. So that left side is being lengthened. Two straight arms. Several breaths. Then come up. Push with those hands. Don't have to come all the way up, but come up high enough. And then change sides. So it isn't just the arms that move off to the left now. It is the sternum. It's the whole trunk. So you're left with just a part of the right rib cage left on that bolster. And your head is hanging over your knee. Stretch both arms straight. So go long, Leanne, two arms parallel. Get the left arm going way out toward the right arm, parallel to the right arm. And come up. Okay. Last bit. Let's see. Let's do this face down. And that'll be lovely for Karen and Gay. Will it be for Karen? No. Karen, you'll do something different just for the moment. So wait for everybody. I'm going to show them what's happening. No chair. You'll see why you're not doing this, Karen. So I'll show you from this side. This is this is my right leg. So I'm just going to describe it from my right leg. This is a diagonal. I'm lying on the floor with my left side. This is my left side on the floor. And I'm turned to face the floor. And my right groin and right thigh are supported. My shin and ankle are supported by this bolster. Do you see it? I'll show it a different way. The bolster is right against my groin and thigh, and the knee is folded, so my foot's supported. It's not hanging off. It's up on the bolster. So there's enough bolster down for my foot to be supported. And I turn and rest sort of face down. Draw out the length of the waist. This is not meant to bunch up the low back. Now, the way to come out is to roll to face the bolster, and the knee comes up. And then you push the bolster away and come up and change sides. So roll toward the bolster to come out of the pose. That now was you spent a few minutes there. I hope it was not excessive on the groin. You're sort of in control of how low you go. People with very open hips have been known to do this with just a blanket roll instead of a whole bolster. Whatever the case, that bolster has to come fully in contact with the groin. It supports that hip socket. Now, Karen, so you can see that lateral leg we're not interested in. But you, how many straps do you have? I can't see fingers. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 3. Then I want those 3. You need a blanket on the floor at the wall, maybe 2, a little bit of height under the hips. And you take your 3 straps, Karen, and you put them 1 strap around the upper thigh, 1 strap around the lower thigh, right? Here's a strap, here's a strap, here's the knee, here's the hip. And your 3rd strap around the calves. Put that brick between the knees before you tighten all the straps. The rest of you roll toward that bolster to come out. Are you okay in your spines? Okay. That brick, Karen, goes short side, long wise between the knees. So 1 brick below it, 1 belt below it, 1 belt above it. Okay. Then Karen, legs up the wall, back on those 2 blankets. The rest of you don't have to get so complicated with 3 straps. But get 2 blankets, put them one on top of the other. So it's not a high support, but it is a level platform. Watch this for a second. This blanket, when I'm lying on it, that blanket has to cover my hips, my low back. Do you see how high it goes? Almost to my shoulder blades. It covers quite a bit. So you don't want a narrow blanket. You want a square folded blanket. And the important part is this leading edge that's got to get under your shoulder blades. If you've got a space between it and the wall, that's actually fine. But bring that blanket to where it's gonna come out and support your chest. One strap. And that strap will go once you're in the pose. Buttocks to the wall. And that blanket right where it needs to be, close to those shoulder blades, so that top chest just naturally rolls open. Diaphragm naturally rolls open. Now, Gay, this is a semi-inversion. You need two straps, wide strap. So you do if you can see this, so you do Konasana, legs apart. So two straps or an 8-foot strap, long strap between those feet, nice wide. Anybody with high blood pressure, racing heart, if you're sweating heavily for some reason, Pratima, that strap goes closer to the calves or ankles. Now the strap is there just to make it so you can, let's say, half relax the legs. They still stay straight. That's you must actively keep them straight. But it shouldn't be that you have to work hard at that. Yes. Now, the criteria, Gay, is that you feel no compression, chest, throat, neck, head. This pose should feel expansive, settled, wide, quiet. Now, arm positions can vary. You can stretch your arms straight parallel to each other overhead, like Urdhva. You can stretch your arms laterally straight out to the sides, like Shavasana. And you can bend your elbows so your upper arms are doing Urdhva. How your hips, Karen, are they feeling neutral? I don't want residual soreness. Okay, good. Okay, belly, diaphragm, very soft. No weight on the abdomen. Now, everybody, make sure the arms relax. Monica, take the strap around your feet instead of legs or even ankles, and widen the strap a lot. All the way out. If it's a 6-foot strap, and keep it on. If it's an 8-foot strap, take it as, oh, well, take it as wide as you may comfortably go, right? Probably 10 feet isn't it, but take a wide support and put it on feet. Yes. Yes. Good. So nothing halfway there, right? The legs wide apart or completely together. Or I should say hip width or together. That's the narrow thing. Now, everybody but Karen, bend the knees to Baddha Konasana on the wall, upside still in, still back down. Soles the feet together. Those with straps still around, you could hold your position with the strap, kind of makes it easier. And bring the heels down as close as they'll come. Take the nicest pose you can. Support your knees. And then use your hands to help your knees together, put your feet flat on the wall, about hip width. Karen, you can do that. And as you need to, Karen, loosen those straps to mobilize yourself. And then slide away from the wall. You can stay here for a while. We've got minutes for Shavasana. So give yourself, if you're very relaxed, don't change much. Don't change fast. So if you like relaxing in Baddha Konasana, yeah, if you like relaxing with your knees folded toward your chest, that's nice. If you want to slide away from the wall, that's nice too. Now, if your knees are bent, if you're in a knees bent position, come out of that knees bent. If your legs are up the wall and straight, I don't mind. If you're in a knees bent, come to a legs straight relaxation. And supporting, keeping the chest elevated is a nice thing. And it is time. So you may stay as you are and continue relaxing. The animals know what time it is. They always know.
Namaste.